Comrade Miranda.
Good evening,
Good
comrade.
evening, good
Good
evening, good
evening to our
evening.
listeners and our viewers.
All right, I'm just trying to change the view in the box. Give me a minute. I want to have you. I'm trying to change the. I'm trying to change how I see you in the box. The what you call it? Yeah. All right. You can turn on your camera if you want to.
Wait, where's it? Um, I'll connect using audio only.
Okay, no
Okay, I
problem.
can turn on my camera.
It's all
I'm
right. It's
trying to
up
get
to
my
you. It's entirely up to
welcome.
you. Them love see them love see when they comrade them pretty face, you know. Let me
Good
change this.
evening, viewers. Good evening.
All right. So let me just introduce you. So, comrades, one, comrades all, we are now joined by Comrade Miranda Wellington, who is the PNP candidate for the Weather Vane seat down in St. Elizabeth called Southwest St. Elizabeth. You know, comrades, it is always stated that wherever the people of Southwest St. Elizabeth vote, the nation follows. So it's a very powerful seat, not to be taken lightly. Welcome to the Politics Church and the altar, Comrade Miranda Wellington. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself to comrade, and I am so grateful for this opportunity. Thanks for allowing me to share this evening with you and your viewers and your listeners. And this is such a wonderful opportunity
Wow,
for me
I
to share my story in Southwest.
definitely. I am happy to have you. So, Comrade Miranda, I know that you see the comrade woman that you see, I tell you, you know, these people going want to see you. You see them start already, the comrade woman, them nice looking, I tell you. Anyway, so tell us now, Comrade Miranda, give us some history. Who is Comrade Miranda Wellington? Because remember now, my job is to expose the young upcoming comrades who are new to representation. So just give the viewers, the comrades online, a brief history into you and who you are.
Well, I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a mother. I'm a community member, born and bred in Southwest St. Elizabeth from the community of Flagaman. Both parents were farmers. And I've been a part of my party, my People's National Party, since I was 16. I was brought up under the tutelage of Donald Buchanan. I was his constituency secretary
Nice.
for quite a number of years, understudying his office secretary. And then I went to the University of the West Indies, studied. As a matter of fact, the other day I was trying to remember how many. There are so many of us that are now in the politics, running as members of parliament, who were in my year group. So one such person is Lothan Cousins. We were on hall together at the University of the
Nice.
West Indies. Um, well, Damien led a coup at UA during my period.
Oh, you were in the game. I think I was there at the time, too, but I wasn't really involved in the politics.
Yes, we were on the guild. But I was a little behind. They were my seniors. So
Ah,
I did pol sci at University of the West Indies and history, and then I left and came back home. And
okay.
I've been teaching ever since. But I've also been very integrated in every aspect of the politics from every level. I have been a constituency secretary for 18 years. I
Wow.
have been constituency chairman. I have been regional vice chair. Currently, I am a regional vice chairman for Region 5, and in charge of political education and training. I'm also a part of the women's movement, and very excited to represent the people that I know who deserve better. Southwest is near and dear to my heart.
Right.
There is nothing Southwest that you can talk about that I don't know about. And I think that is one of the reasons why I chose to to speak up. And I say that in many ways because I've been a little shy about representational politics because I've been so much a part of the fabric of it that I felt, well, maybe it's best that I be a part of the organization but not necessarily be in the representational aspect. But
Right.
when I realized what was happening around me, when I saw how many of my community members, how many of my co-workers, my teachers, my nurses, so many of them are dissatisfied with the kind of representation they see. And it was almost like it was fate that said, okay, I will not be quiet any longer. I will definitely. And they say that if you want change, you have to be
That's
the
right.
person who start the change with yourself. So be the change you want to see. And I think that was one of the main reasons why. And I have a child, and I do not want him to feel that we are to want change and not be willing to be the change. And I have to lead by example for him.
Amen.
There's so many things around me that I feel so passionate about, and that one of the main reasons for that is because I live among the people I represent. So I can't hide from them. So I think that with a few other factors, help to kind of guide the direction in which I'm at now. I'm grateful for the experience. I think this is the right time. I think I'm colliding into the right direction, and I'm giving it my all. Southwest is ready for a female member of parliament because they want someone who cares. And I think it is important that we also represent the people who vote the most. I think a lot of women shy away from politics because it's hard. Being a woman, being a mother, being a wife, that kind of thing is difficult, being on the political battlefield night and day. Sometimes you don't get no rest, but
I talk
it
to
speaks
you.
for itself. I'm happy. I'm happy about the choice that I've made, and the people who support me and want me to represent them are happy that I have chosen Southwest. So
Are you still in the classroom?
I went back last month. I took a sabbatical because the campaign trail was hard last year, very hard, and I needed to make the people believe again. And honestly, Southwest is on fire, Kamla.
Yeah. Imagine. Spend a lot
So
of time
Southwest
there
is
because
ready for
your
change.
adopted mother is my adopted mother, so I spend a lot of time there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have so much to offer. We have so much to offer, and we have so much potential, but we just need the right leadership. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you're giving me this opportunity to highlight, some of the issues affecting us. And I'm very close to a lot of people in and around Black River, which is the capital, and they
Yes.
tell me there is a lot that they want to see. So
Okay.
that is my little story.
All right. So you said that people expect a lot out of you, a lot from you. So what are some of the things that you intend to deliver?
Well, what is important for them is to have running water,
Wow.
and well, the basics.
The cry of
They need
the
water.
whole Jamaica apparently.
But it is even more louder in Southwest, and let me tell you why. Because we feed the nation,
That's true.
we feed the people of this country, and if
Bread
we
basket.
cannot grow the foods. Exactly. If we cannot grow the foods that are necessary for us to have a sense of pride, an economic base by which we can provide for our families, then we are not able, we won't be able to deliver. And so water is the cry of Southwest. And it's not now, I won't be prejudiced. It's not now, but it has gotten more louder because the needs are greater. We have a growing population, and also we have to think about agriculture in a wholesome way where we can be competitive. And it is important that we not only provide water in tanks and drums, but we need water in our pipes, because women and children and families and men, it is important that we clean our bodies. I don't know why this is not a right. This is a basic necessity. Why is it? And let me tell you, Kamla, it's the small things that affect the big things. You see, if you do not have a sense of pride about yourself, if you do not feel clean, you cannot go into the world and have clean thoughts, clean behaviors. And when you look at so many people having to trip water in buckets, I mean, it is untenable and it is unacceptable at this time. The road infrastructure is woefully lacking. We see where there are efforts being made now, where, I mean, obviously, maybe the Prime Minister didn't travel Jamaica before election. So we hear about this, beautiful sparkation, I call it, or promise. And I mean, I really do hope that some of the roads that need to be fixed will be fixed. And I am making a special appeal because it ought not to be politicized. I believe the needs of the people far outweigh our color, because we have to now put people first instead of, the partisan thing that is happening now, where only roads that are traversed by our residents of a particular color are getting their roads fixed and certain colors aren't getting. I mean, that kind of, ancient mindset is hindering the development of our country. Because when you look at the South Coast, we are ripe for development. On the southern belt of the island, which is, they call it now the Dubai, the possible Dubai of Jamaica, there are so many attractive aspects to this side of the island that nobody gets to see, because you can't drive to get here. If you drive here, you feel like you're pulling teeth and going to dentists and all of that. Honestly, nobody wants to come to the South Coast because you can't get here in a timely manner. And I speak it loudly everywhere I go. If you cannot get to a location with ease, you won't want to visit it.
That's quite right.
And so we have treasure. We have so many beautiful attractions in St. Elizabeth because we are a mecca of tourism. Yes, we have
in southwestern.
I heard. By the way, I heard, and I'm sure you had a wonderful time.
I did. I had a fabulous time. It really was. Went out to Pelican Bar, really had a wonderful honeymoon.
World renowned, I must add, world renowned.
Yeah.
One of the best attraction in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
And right off the coastline of Party, we have maybe eight to nine fishing villages. We have major beach. We have so many attractions, but nobody gets to see the beauty we have because there's the basic infrastructural needs that we need in Southwest is not in place for the development to take place. In terms of the background, in terms of the economic base of the population, we have mostly farmers, fishermen, a few business class, and a lot of returning residents. So that is the basic infrastructure. The basic grouping of people that I would love to represent. My farmers are very close to my heart, and of course they're close to my heart because I feel they've been neglected. And it's important that we highlight the role that farmers have played in the development of this country. I feel they don't get I feel like we're neglecting them, because if we're not able to provide an economic base for them to survive, you have a lot of them moving away to the non-traditional crops.
Yeah, non-traditional.
And informal. In the sense of the non-traditional good we enjoy in our spare time.
which, comrade leader is going
And
to do.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
Comrade
You
leader is going to speak on that.
I was saying he's gonna make some of those
Oh,
non-traditional crops traditional, you know, some of them.
we will have to. We will have to. We will have
Indeed.
to. We have the best growers. We have the best growers,
Right.
and there is depth and wealth. There depth and wealth and medical value in that crop.
Exactly.
There is also, I mean, countries are light years ahead of us in terms of the development in marijuana production and
Yes.
its usages, multifaceted usages right across the board. And I think we're lagging way behind because of our informality of it. And
Right.
but as I said before, what the party leader had done initially when we were able um, to make the small usage legal, it is a step forward, but we have to
You're
do
right.
far more. We have to do far more in right. And what I am seeing too, I have communities that that understand the need they're expecting the People's National Party to make that grand leap because they don't expect it from anybody else because we started it. And
Yeah.
so because of what we have put on the table, they know we are the only one that going to push it further. It won't reach anywhere because it don't benefit certain people. And what they complain about oftentimes is that they have no means by which to be guided to become formal growers. And
Okay.
it is my role. It is my role. Yes, it is my role as member of parliament to educate them. So we're going to be having some forums in some of those small communities to highlight the journey to getting them to become formal growers. But what is also important is that because we depend heavily on small farmers
Right.
have to come together. And that's a challenge we face because we know that the reason why elsewhere is growing so well is because they farm on a large scale, and they use mechanization and industrialization to improve their crop production. But we have to be depending on everybody doing their own thing, so many people growing the same thing. It is not organized. And we have to create linkages with farmers and go back to this 80s when I was growing up, where we used to go to farmers meetings, where we used to
Yes.
have farming corporations, where they used to
Right.
even the basic usage of a plow or a tractor is rented for the entire community. And now everybody is doing their own thing, and we're not communicating, and we're not linking. That's a major factor that is hindering development in this country too. The people are too separate. We're not together. Communities are
Divide and
not
conquer.
together.
Divide and conquer.
Ah, and it's working because they're telling you that you need to be economically viable. But it's only one sector of people in this country that is economically viable, those with money. And they're the ones sharing their wealth of knowledge with each other. So they're in a grouping that is basically self-sustaining, and then everybody's lagging behind. So
Right.
what we're saying is that the people have to understand that we have to come together so that we can build our own grouping,
That's right.
because the poor don't have to come together. The rich already together. So why we not coming together? We need to come together.
We will try
So
everything to keep them divided. That's the bottom line.
yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
And uneducated.
That's right.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you, but I don't want to miss this important point. What is important to me too in Southwest is for our children to be educated. I am seeing a severe decrease in the numbers of children who are going to school in my
Okay.
constituency. Rem-
What level do you teach, Comrade Miranda? I know you're an educator. I know.
well, I used to
You teach
lecture
high
at
school or
heart, but
primary?
no, high school.
Oh,
I teach at
high
Black River
school.
High School. So
Okay.
I teach Cape students. So I teach sociology, Caribbean studies, those kind of subjects. So I'm a social scientist. So basically,
We were talking
I'm
about, it's so
in the
ironic.
society with them.
We were talking about
Yeah.
sociology last night. It is so ironic 'cause we were talking about Andrew's id and his ego and his super ego. Just last night.
Well, he and his distractions.
Exactly.
Um, I don't know if the viewers understand what is really taking place, but the more that you don't educate your children, is the more will become far worse. And I'm
Exactly.
seeing the trend. Uh, we have children who stop going to school after Wednesday. That is the norm now. Normally it's Fridays, because even growing up it was a Friday thing in
Yeah.
country, and no, Wednesday is the norm now. Population dropping half by Wednesday. And this is a direct relation to the economic viability of families. So
Exactly.
if you are not farming, so farming is your bread and butter, which is in my constituency. Farming is their bread and butter. If your farmers aren't cultivating their crops, if they're not getting their crops sold, right now we're having a major onion crisis on the southern belt.
Like
Right now,
that's
as
what
we
I wanted
speak,
to ask you about. That's what exactly what I wanted to ask you about. I'm glad you are segueing into it.
yes, major onion crisis. Right now, as we speak, Kamla, I can
Yeah.
tell the viewers, them driving around with truck collecting people onion.
What you mean collecting
So
people?
it finally, well, what happened is that they're rotting. So what their RADA is doing now, because apparently they're finally here. I don't know if I don't know if it is finally reaching to them, but they're collecting the onions from the farmers and putting them in trucks. Well, normally they do that, they dump it. We know that's what they do. But they are buying it from them. Well, the hope of buying it, I don't know how long they'll wait before they get the money. But what they do is when there's a glut and they are not, and the farmers have become restive and promise of like they'll do some farmer protests. They go around with the trucks and take the crops from them with the promise of paying them later for it. So right now they're driving around in trucks, rather truck drivers collecting spoiled onions because they're not going to sell them. They're going to dump
You
them.
dump them. Oh my God. So why is it that there is a glut in the onion market in Jamaica? Please explain to the listeners. I want them to hear why we're having this issue.
Well, what I was told, right, was that we were having another. The opposite is true, where there had been a lull, where people were not growing onion. I don't know if the viewers know anything about onion farming, but onion farming is one of the most labor intensive, very hard to grow.
Oh, it is?
You sow it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. It's in seed form, and the seeds are expensive. The cheapest tin of seed is $13,000, and it ranges to 15 to 25 to 30 to $50,000 for a tin of onion seed. And
Wow.
so, because it's so costly, the seed is so costly, and you have to grow. I mean, if you're going to sow a tin, that's barely enough land to
Oh my
put
God.
anything on. So you have to maybe sow about 5 tin of onion seed to get
And
like
they're
an
so
acreage.
expensive.
And then there is a technique to it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pick it by finger. You have to pick it by
Oh,
finger because it glow.
I'm not
A
hearing you
bottle of the
clearly.
spray is like, are you hearing me better now?
Yes, it's better now. Hearing you now.
What I was sharing with you, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was sharing with you is the cost of the spray is about $25,000 to spray it, to get rid of the weeds. And you have to
Mm-hmm.
fertilize.
You're tripping in and out again.
Is it? And
You just trip out
let me come
again.
off the Wi-Fi totally and go
Okay.
straight into. Am I back?
Okay. Yes, you're back.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you
You
now.
know, would really love to see. Okay, good. Is there? All right. So I was sharing that it is very expensive to grow the crop.
Mm-hmm.
As the spray is about $25,000. A bag of fertilizer is about 12, 30, range between 12 and $13,000. Depends on the size. So when a person decides to grow onion, you're basically putting in about $500,000 on an acreage,
Oh,
at least.
Jesus.
So you can imagine small farmers putting in that amount of money in one crop, one crop. So what happened was that they initially, rather, rural
Agriculture.
agricultural
Mm-hmm.
there's
Development
an
agency.
authority now, not
Mm-hmm.
agency. So they are the ones who was encouraging farmers to come back into onion farming. So I think they provided some stimulus. What they
Mm-hmm.
did was provided onions, and the extension officer says they made some efforts in getting them back into onion production, because we love our local onion. Me don't know about the rest of viewers, but I
I
don't like a
I
foreign.
don't me neither. Them just big and taste weird.
And them just dry. Them
No
don't have
flavors.
no
No
taste. They're just
flavor.
dry.
Mm-hmm.
And what you find is that the local onion is juicy, it's flavorful,
Yes.
it's something we have. Ours is the best, just like local scallion. Red root
Yes.
scallion is going out of
Mm-hmm.
style now in Southwest, because, as I said before, what we produce is always better. And
Yes.
so what we saw was they had made some efforts, because I know that they had gone around and given seeds. They had given I think they were even encouraging what they assisted them with water too,
Okay.
to get back the production. So we saw where there was efforts being made. But here, lo and behold, how could they not have known that after you spend, I don't know if it was a grant that was given, because the Europeans normally give back something for us to
Right.
do something for them. So they were given a grant, and this money was spent.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, you have all these farmers with a whole lot of onions and no market. Because when you look, imported onions are everywhere. I've never seen so many bags of red onion bags all about the place. And
Somebody bring them in. Somebody benefiting from bring them in.
that's the
From
sad part about it.
Miranda, I have a question, a quick question. Who is the member of parliament for the constituency that you are now representing?
The member of parliament is Floyd Green. He's the Minister of Agriculture too.
And here is the irony of the situation.
And my
There is
neighbor,
the irony.
and his deputy, and his junior minister is also neighboring. Both of them are from St. Elizabeth. Southeast and Southwest,
Wow.
they are in charge of RADA and in charge of agriculture.
Who is the deputy? Who is
His
deputy?
deputy is uh, uh
Who is
ooh,
the member of parliament for Southeast?
Southeast St. Elizabeth, Frank Witter.
Frank Witter. So Frank Witter is his junior minister. Okay.
So the
So the
both
both
of
of
them.
them there, and they are basically the breadbasket of the entire nation, and them in charge of the breadbasket, and them suffering the people, so the farmers, so.
And what is also important to note is that, if the dynamics of St. Elizabeth is very important. We have a large migrating population and a large immigrating, so we have a lot of returning
Right.
residents, and we
Mm-hmm.
depend heavily on foreign money. So
Right.
a lot of the farmers are farming only because their families are sending remittances. Is remittances money that is going in the ground in Southwest? So when they pretend like it's farming is rotating and giving them back the yield and they're making money, I can tell you, you don't want to see the lines at Western Union on the weekends where the families are collecting money to start back a garden, beg a tin of a bag of fertilizer. We depend heavily. I mean, Jamaica on a whole, but I can tell you, half of foreign come from South St. Elizabeth.
Wow.
And they are the ones who have stuck to their people. They take care of their families here, and maybe that's why people think St. Elizabeth people are so independent. One of the main reasons why we're so independent is because a lot of our families live abroad,
Right.
and they are the ones who have invested back in their communities. They are the ones building the houses. They are the ones who are, investing in the farming. Because I know a lot of friends who live abroad and them have them gardens out here, them planting, them beet, them planting, them still farming from foreign.
Right.
So that is how much the agriculture is inbred, that they are still investing in their people here. And so when they talk about agriculture is booming, I would say with no apologies, the only the agriculture in booming in St. Elizabeth is in the boombox them, where them a keep dance and where them visiting. Only in the boom boxes that are keeping at night time.
I see a lot of that happening there.
Listen, comrade, night and day is just parties. When I look at how the economic landscape have changed, and this is directly related to crime. I'm a social scientist, so I observe and I know the trends. When we look and see where less people are gainfully employed, less people are farming. So what they are doing now is replacing the parties for earning.
Yeah,
so
everybody's a promoter now.
Everybody's keeping a dance, everybody's keeping a round robin, everybody's keeping a what do you call it, drink out. And these are the things that you as a person of who wants better have to look and say, how can this be sustainable for a constituency? Where is the economic viability? Why your people them not developing business? Why your people them not creating new industries? Because you're not focusing on the farmers, because that no money now there so everybody I keep drink out and dance now. And you really have to look at how is this sustainable. And it brings in people because you have to find bartenders from outside. And then when you're making a quick money, the only what you call it, the only kind of transportation you're going to buy. If you make 100,000, you're going to buy a bike.
Right, that is it. Yeah.
You're going to buy a bike. And the bike leads to so many other things. When I was growing up, everybody in South St. Elizabeth had a pickup, because a pickup can carry some. It can carry you to the market. A pickup. I mean, gas is a major issue. I know why people are now turning to transportations that are cost effective. But you have to look at the viability of a pickup. When I was growing up, when you had like Donald Buchanan and Rochester, and you had neighboring, the best Minister of Agriculture, Roger Clark, God bless him, soul. People don't understand the kind of work those men did in agriculture. These people are the people who are now entertaining agriculture, because it's entertaining agriculture, I call it. Because
I like that one.
yeah, man, entertaining agriculture, because my community around me, because they are real farmers, and they'll tell me, Miranda, is beer farming full going on. People are farming a book, because all them do is come around. They call it farming a book, because you have all these bright ideas, but put it to practice, it's not logical. So when you looked at those gentlemen who passed, and who laid the foundation to developing real agriculture in this country, you saw developments where people could get even, I remember farmers used to get subsidies to import vehicles that could help them
could help them out.
create an industry. They could go to the markets. They could use this to help with their families. I mean, the only thing a bike can do right now is to carry a pillion and basically and kill you off. If there's no whole of pitney no left in a South St. Elizabeth, every one of them have broke foot, broke hand, broke everything, and it's causing an issue in the hospital system. So there is a ripple effect, Comrade Kamla, a ripple effect with all of what is taking place. There is no economic viability in Southwest if we don't help with farmers come back.
I'm glad you mentioned the healthcare. What is it like these days at the Black River Hospital?
It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful business building. The last event I went to, the minister stated that he knows it is doing well when you see people taking pictures outside a hospital.
Oh, because it's a showpiece, it's not a hospital.
That's standard. That's his standard for development when it's beautiful, but no beds. I get calls every day, and it's all around. And you know, you touch on a very important factor. A lot of people go to the hospitals and there are no beds. There are no beds. The waiting time is excessive. People calling if you have a link in at the hospital. I tell them, but I'm not the minister. I went to a graduation this evening, and a lady was the guest speaker. Said to me, she was speaking about getting obliged. She said she called it this is a Tufton moment. So I mean, we are not fortunate.
He was also the MP of that same seat when he was the Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah, when they were entertaining agriculture
And importing fertilizer made of human feces.
Well, what we know for sure is that agriculture is fertilizer. The input cost in agriculture is very high, and that is why many of the people are not able to farm anymore.
Right.
A bag of fertilizer over $13,000. A tin of melon seed up to $15,000. Spray, water. So all of these heavy input costs. But what is the government doing for these people to be able to come back and see? We thought they were doing something, and then them friend import all of the other and them in the country.
One friend, I'm glad you said that is one of them benefiting. One of them benefiting from all of those onion imports. Before Floyd Green was returned to the Ministry of Agriculture, the former minister was, I think, Pernell Charles. And he tried to downplay the significance of the importation of onions and the effect it will have on the local market. I guess we are now seeing the manifestations.
Yes, we must also recognize that this is not a Southwest St. Elizabeth problem. This is an island problem, because they had invested millions in St. Thomas too in a resuscitation of the program. Remember?
Right.
And it's the same thing happened. And I think it's some grant they get as well. What they do is just them fool up the farmers for farm food, and then when the crops come, there's no market for them. Because what I am not clear about, however, is I know that there has been a tariff removal from all agricultural imports, and this is frightening. And I want to speak for the farmers of St. Elizabeth, because I get the calls daily. The Pig Farmers Association and the Small Ruminants Association, those two organizations, they are the only people who are speaking about the importation affecting the pig industry.
Right.
A lot of the farmers, poor people have pig at them yard, right? You know that, right? Poor people, it don't matter what you have in your house. There's the scraps from your kitchen you give to the pigs. And so when I do my walks in Southwest St. Elizabeth, I am certain to find a pig in a yard.
Right.
And every single home that I go to and has a pig, then tell me, Miss Wellington, it don't make no sense to sell the pig. Miranda, cause everybody can art teach, because them are more than likely me teach them pitney. Them say, you know, say the pig we used to expect to sell, to send them back to a school. And you know what happen now? If we sell it to if we sell our pigs, they don't get paid for 6 weeks. They have to wait to get their monies. 6 weeks, and it's sold at a far cheaper rate. And if they're selling, if they kill the animal and selling the meat, or if they sell it live, they call it live weight or etc., they get a far less price. And the pig, nobody is buying pork. Nobody is buying pork. So I have to question. I don't know, but I know the Pig Farmers Association and the Small Ruminants Association organization have spoken that some of these big companies are importing
the pork.
and it's wrapped, because you know we import pigtail, because we eat a lot of pigtail, but we don't eat as much pork. But there must be something going on. Why so much people can't get them pig sell?
Wow.
Something is not right, and I don't know if you realize it. Every single time I get a phone, well, I'm getting the phone calls. They'll say to me, say, Miss Wellington, we can't get with pig sell. And something is wrong. Miranda, something is wrong. When you hear man buy pig and goat passing in the communities, they will tell them that they have to wait 6 weeks to get $1. You can imagine growing an animal from a suckling to it big enough way to sell for how much, hundreds of pounds, and you still have to wait to get your money.
So long. Jesus.
And it is a recurring decimal. It is every single time I hear them talk, I know that there has to be a direct relation to the importation of foods, the tariff removal. Well, it is coming. It's coming to a buck now, because we need to realize that we need to recognize that this tariff removal from imported agricultural foods is going to be the death of us in Jamaica.
Probably that's what they want. Because it's to me, it's common sense, Comrade Miranda. So if it's a situation where they don't understand that they're boxing food out of the farmer's mouth and it's going to affect all of us in the long run, I feel to them, no, them just want to kill you off.
I don't know what is the rationale behind it, because you can't love your people and treat them like that. And I want to hear, no, I have not heard a word from the ministry or the Minister of Agriculture regarding the removal of the taxes. There is no explanation. And they're saying that they're being pressured by international standards or whatever. But you need to speak to the people. You can't tell me that I am forced to grow at the same cost as imported food. Exactly. At a higher price. You're starving me out. You're taking food out of my people in mouth. The people of Pedro Plains, the people of Flagaman, the people of Pedro Cross, the people of Little Park, Newell, all of these are farming belts. If you don't allow your people to grow their food and be able to become economically viable, you're going to force them to go into crime.
But that's what's happening, especially in your parish. I mean, we see where crime is out of control in St. Elizabeth.
We see some increases in theft. We don't even touch on the kind of issues our farmers are facing with stealing of animals. I have a community in the hills of Malvern, which is called Retrieve. I can tell you, Retrieve is a distant community, and the people them load up the trucks and go up them thief all of them pig, them thief them cow, and them cut out the bellies of these animals and leave them the babies in. And we talk about what is being done to protect our farmers, because you're telling them to farm, and their crops and their animals are not being protected. There is nothing in place. I don't know if there is a crime unit in charge of animals, but there is a lot of theft is
There is
taking
a predial last unit, yes. I know the person in charge very well, but there is a predial last name unit. You're right.
But it's not effective, comrade. It's not working. Or
Maybe you need to have a meeting with them and
we
bring
have
carry them into the constituency so that the farmers can have a one-on-one with them.
what we did, we had two meetings up there. The police from the neighboring Malvern, which is the nearest division to them, or location to them. So they had community meetings, and they're saying that, but they're saying that the residents need to do more. But what them can do, and them in
What
a
can do
darkness.
here? Mm-hmm.
This is another thing I need to talk about too. The amount of communities without street lights.
There you
Comrade
go.
Kamala,
Mm-hmm.
Kamla,
Yes.
comrade. I am in fear of my residents going to church. Basic church. They can't go, them in pitch black. And I don't know how we have regressed from becoming a nation where we believe in development. We have put in street lights. And you can tell me that you don't replace street lights now. You're telling me almost 8 years there's no program to improve the ones that have gone down. My community in Retrieve, there
Mm-hmm.
are 8 street lights up there. I have gotten some resources, and we were able to fix 2 of the street lights. But now I'm asking, 6 of them are out. Because what I did a assessment. We went around to the communities, and we found all of the street lights that have gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a request in writing to the parish council and to JPS. What we are told is that it is on the books, and
On the
there
books.
is something coming, like is space or something it coming from. What you mean it coming? Why the lights? Why
These
the
are
communities
needs
are in
right
darkness?
now. Mm-hmm.
Why are they in darkness? And what I hear happening too is that some people are selling street lights.
Oh, how will you say? How them getting them? How them accessing them?
You pay a certain amount of money and you get one relocated, but the cost is about $30,000 to $40,000.
Oh
So I
wow.
wonder who in our community have $30,000 to $40,000 when it is your basic right. You pay for that, but the government is not paying JPS, so JPS not repairing the lights.
Oh
So a lot of my communities are in darkness, and I'm making a special appeal. Maybe this is my opportunity to share my plight.
yes, please
There
do.
are there are far too many communities in southwestern St. Elizabeth without street light. I mean, lights were there and they've gone. Either we need to improve the LED, but they've gone. Nobody has even thought about replace. We're talking about the ones that need repair. Now, the whole other story is the ones that need light, because they have not put in any additional street lights. I hear parish council is to get, about 8 years now they have got no street lights, and you can verify this information, comrade. I
Yeah.
don't want to be misquoted, but I can tell you, based on my checks, a lot of the parish councillors have lamented that they have made requests for new street lights allocated, and maybe them
Nothing.
get one, not getting any. They're not getting any. So no new communities no build, no new roads no build. Apparently the population is not growing, so therefore they don't need to see. And let me tell you, a people in darkness will suffer.
I'm glad you're touching on all of these important points. I mean, we see the people in the comments reporting that you are touching on some critical areas, Comrade Miranda. I want to know though, what issue, since we're on crime and you're talking about not feeling safe and secure in the neighborhoods in your constituency. What about the issue of migrating criminals from, we know that further north you have St. James, and you have Westmoreland, which are well-known hotbeds for scamming, and of late there have been a lot of clampdowns in terms of curfews, SOE. Do you have an issue, therefore, with migrating criminals?
Yes, you know, it's what happens is that when you put pressure on communities or parishes around you, you will see that it spills over. So we have hotspots in borders. So, for example, we border Eastern Westmoreland, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a few hot spots in Black River, a few hot spots in Brompton, and recently, I don't know if you have seen where we had to go into Vineyard, one of our communities that had a major breakout in crime.
Oh,
So
okay.
what we recognized was that there had to be more social engagement, especially with the youths. Them said the devil find work for idle hands.
That's right.
And and this is another thing when we need to really talk about, comrade. Why are our community centers left abandoned and filled with wasp
Right.
and what you call it, and animal feces? I have been touring quite a number of our community centers that were put in place with the aim and the expectation that this would be a hub by which communities cooperate and communicate to plan better for community development. We are seeing where there is a total neglect in southwestern St. Elizabeth for community building through our community centers. Every single area that you see any form of development happening is community people come together and develop their communities. But if there is no space by which they are operating, then this will not happen. And so I am making a plea, and I'm also committing to, when I become member of parliament, we're going to initiate back proper functioning community resource centers in
That's
every
right.
single community, because we cannot allow criminals and gangs to take over our communities while we have our community centers rotten and left in filth, because that is what is happening. I am now seeing some efforts being made. I passed through a community recently and I see them paint it up, and me I say, wait,
Election
major
in
structure.
the air.
Yeah, man, major stronghold, and at 8 years now, and I just know them a fix up on a community center, and them a say, yes, yes, them say them need to get it back up. Well, I am saying it ought not to take a little girl from Southwest St. Elizabeth who want better for our people, we go a Black River High every day, who speak to our community members for you to start doing work in your community.
Yeah, because you are highlighting the issues now. They
Yeah,
have to run behind you and fix everything you highlight, but that is good. It means they're listening.
well, obviously they're watching too, because, and I'm sure they're hearing the voices, because the people are not happy with the kind of representation they're seeing in Southwest. We deserve better.
Yeah,
I am not into the social media glitz and glam. I am not into the PR if the work is not done,
that's
and I'm
right.
saying it is complementary. It is not replacing. So do not tell me that you are doing this and doing that when we are not feeling it on the ground. So them say he who feels it knows it, and we ain't feeling it in Southwest. We are not feeling it.
Wow, wow, wow. This is so many issues happening in the constituency, and I'm happy to hear about your plans. You have a lot of plans in place. Now talk to me about the politics in the seat, because when they come with them want to hear about the politics. We hear about all of the plans in terms of the social issues you're facing. How is the ground, Comrade Miranda? How do you feel?
Well, the ground is ripe for comrade, and
Mhm.
I want to commit to the comrades on the platform this afternoon, and I want to pledge to you that I am working hard to get back Southwest for the People's National Party. I will not rest, and it will not stop, because we have to bring home Southwest, because this seat is a weather vane seat. This
That's
is the
right.
seat who is going to ensure that Mark Jefferson Golding gets back into Parliament with a winning PNP, and Southwest is going to be right there walking down Duke Street.
That is
Trust me.
right. I love that. Excellent.
Uh, we come in a far way, because, as you know, it's not a safe seat for either political parties. It
How
is
much
a
did you win by the last time?
pardon,
How much did Floyd Green win by the last time?
over 2,000 votes. over 2,000 votes. So it felt like a mammoth task. Because
Right.
when we decided to do this, comrade, we basically we knew it based on the profile that he had. A lot of people felt it was impossible. But what I know for certain was that I was not in Southwest playing tomato catch. I was in Southwest doing the work. So I've always been in Southwest doing the work. I know the numbers better than anyone because that has always been my job. I've been the
Right.
constituency
Because
secretary.
I have met you already as an organizer in the parish and the constituency before you were even the candidate. People need to, I want the comrades to understand this is Comrade Miranda Wellington is the exact type of politician that we need to represent the people. The type of politician that works our way and know the politics. Having served as constituency secretary for how long?
18 years.
There you go. There you go.
From I
So
was
you know the
16
people
years old.
inside out.
Sorry, comrade?
I was saying you know the people and the constituency inside out. You know the politics
Yes.
inside out.
Yes. And I know the communities too. I am and the good thing about it is that, I am from the community, so I have a lot of family from the communities. There is hardly any community that I touch that I don't have cousins and aunties and relatives. So there's
Wellington
it's a
name.
family. It's a family feel, and I know that my family will hold me accountable, and my family knows where I'm at. It's important that you know where to find your MP. It sounds simple and it sounds foolish, but if you can't find your MP, how you gonna tell him what going on or her what going on? So I know that my communities, I know that my residents, my voters, this is important to them. That is the culture of Southwest. We need to know who we represent, who is representing us, and we know how to find them. Not only at their office on a Friday at 4 o'clock. So, I see a lot of activities taking place. There's a lot of hustle and bustle taking place right now. Southwest is very active, comrade,
Money,
very active.
money
Um,
running.
I, yes, man, and I'm glad because I have enough energy for all of them. I teach in the mornings and then I go out in the field and do my political work. But what is important to note is that I have not been, is not now I'm working. I've been working since I was 16.
There
So
you
what
go.
I'm doing, it comes naturally and I don't have to force it, and the people recognize it. They know that when I go into a community, it's not because I look in likes or I'm looking votes. They know that I truly care about them. And what was important on February 26, we sent a massive signal right across the island, and for the party to realize that Southwest is viable and Southwest will come back home to the People's National Party.
Beautiful.
We basically we only had Black River prior to 26th, and now we have Brompton,
I've
and
heard about that. And I would love for you to get your young MP. What's his name? I see that. I see. What's his name again?
Councillor Buchanan.
Yes, I would love to have him on the O'Neill Buchanan. I'd love to have him on the platform because that was a real victory. That was one of those victories.
Yes, that was a feel good moment, and I'm still basking, but we're on the trail and we're doing the work. What I want the viewers to recognize too is that all I needed to do was to make the people of Southwest believe again, and they are believing that we can win. The numbers are telling us that it is not as difficult as they think. We have basically in the local government, we only lost Pedro Plains by 200 and odd, which is coming from 1,000 and odd. So that is a signal. This
Yeah,
is a
because if you
signal.
if you cut down Pedro Plains, if you control what is happening in Pedro Plains, you win the seat.
Right. Pedro Plains, if I get back Pedro Plains on this side, on the PNP side, then mountain side would be the most difficult aspect of the task, which is their stronghold. Mountain side
Right.
is that. But Black River and Brompton are PNP strongholds,
Right.
and
So
it's
you just need to
showing
utilize Peter Plains, really.
right on the head, comrade.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. So, and this is where I'm from. This is where I was born and raised. And this is where the people are realizing, even though many of them are JLP supporters, they are realizing that it is not worth the squeeze. You know, what they've given is not what they're getting in return. And
But
I,
but a quick question. Isn't Floyd Green also from the constituency?
no, not to
No,
my
he's not.
knowledge.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't want to speak about where he's from, but not to my
I
knowledge.
just question because you see what I'm trying to figure out is why is he neglecting his seat like this because he's from there. So why well I know he's from somewhere in St. Elizabeth because him they go man, but why is he neglecting the people so much, especially the farmers? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, I can't answer that, but what I can tell you is that if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, you're going to be neglecting something. Because if you don't have a passion, for example, if you are not just like I shared, and I'm gonna speak to what I know. I know
Right.
farmers are important to me. I know my parents are farmers. Right now, my father is 77 years old and him have 2 acres of melon right now growing. So it's in my blood. And I know what farming did for my family, and I know what it did for my education, and I know what it has done for so many people in Southwest. And so that is why I know the sense. There is a sense of pride when you farm and grow something, and that is why there's something special about the people in St. Elizabeth. People in St. Elizabeth farm, they grow. And when you see something grow from nothing to something, it gives you a sense of pride, and it also makes you calm. And that is why people don't study psychology, but there's a direct relationship between growing
Growing
things
things. So
and they say farmers are the most peaceful and loving people in the world. So if you erase a whole culture within a country, you're going to have beer warmonger.
amen. It's happening already. You understand? And in such a parish, a beautiful parish like St. Elizabeth, as I say, is one of my little hideaways. I love that place so much, especially where you are, you know?
Yes, we have a lot to share. We have a lot to share, but the world cannot see it because it lacks development, you know.
Yeah.
And we want to highlight this because we don't want to brand, because there's something special about the South Coast tourism.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be like the North Coast. We want it to have its uniqueness, its niche products. And when we talk about small farmers, we're talking about connecting all the industries together, because the tourist industry is directly linked to
I was
agriculture.
about to say that tourism in South Saint Elizabeth is something, especially in Southwest Saint Elizabeth, is something that needs to be explored. You have so many attractions there along the coast. I mean, you have so much to offer the people. I mean, you have the world renowned what the
Pelican
calabash, not even
or
the
Calabash.
pelican, the
Calabash
calabash,
Festival.
the festival where Angelina Jolie attended last year.
Yes, and we have quite a number of celebrities. As a matter of fact, let me highlight that yesterday there was a launch of the Black River Film Festival that will be in the parish this weekend coming. It will be at Lola's in Black River, and everybody knows that we have the Black River Safari,
Right.
and that's a major attraction, one of the longest navigable rivers. We have right up the road, we have YS Falls, and we have peppered shrimp right in
That's
middle
right.
quarter.
In the quarters.
We have Holland Bamboo, we have Maroon Town, we have so much attraction, so many attractions, so much to offer. And it has a different mix. We have the tourism, we have the fishing, we have the agriculture, and we have the cultural aspect of the parish. So all we need is good leadership.
Indeed. And I
Good
believe you are the good leader that Southwest Saint Elizabeth needs.
Thank you, comrade. Oh, yes. Somebody said Las Vegas Cafe. Yes, that's where it was launched. Las Vegas, big up
Yes.
Las Vegas Cafe, right on Crane Road. One of the best places to eat fish. Then,
Really?
of course, we're going to party. Me
What is
can't
that?
leave out my party people.
Yes.
You have Cloggies on the beach too. You have so many beautiful places where you can have a nice fish. Um, you have these around party. That's where I go and have my fish sometime. You have, oh
And you
my God, if
have
I
a lot
start.
of Airbnbs down there that are doing very well.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's the offering. That's the offering that we have. The small scale tourism. We call it community based tourism product.
Right.
So people like the rustic, the natural. You come out of your yard, you walk. For example, my best place, and I can tell the viewers, come to St. Elizabeth, come to Treasure Beach. The best place to have breakfast is Smurf's Cafe. You walk out of your hotel and you go around the corner, you get the best brewed coffee. You walk, go down the road, you have Jack Sprat, you have
That's right.
Frenchman Reef. You have so many small hotels developing in
Yeah, there's a
French.
new one down there. No, I can't remember what it name. I spent some time down there with the name. It's pretty place right near on that stretch with Treasure Beach near Treasure Beach too.
You have Treasure Beach Hotel around the corner, right there.
You
There's
know,
a
it's nearer to where Pelican is when you part like the road between near your the road carrying you back. That's Black River Back Road.
okay, so you go
Where you
down
go to
Frenchman, Billy's
Pelican.
Bay. Oh, you
You
have
have a lashings. That's the name.
lashings on the beach. Oh
Lashings.
yes.
Lovely,
Yes,
lovely, lovely place.
yes. So and you have Taino Cove right up the road from there. You have so many cottages. You have Koch, which is the
Yes.
new it place now. I mean, there are so many
So
beautiful
it's
places.
booming.
Yeah, man, it's
And
booming. The small tourist industry, and we have the Breads Foundation, which I must highlight. That's an organization in Treasure Beach that is, responsible for the Treasure Beach Sports Park, and I know that the work that they have done in trying to organize, cricket and football
yeah,
matches, and there's a swimming pool there. So Treasure Beach is like a mecca, is a beautiful community, that highlights tourism in its best practice. And I want to encourage the women businesses too, because as a woman, I want to, and a mother, I want to highlight the need for us to empower the women in the constituency, because we see the power of women being economically viable when they become,
true.
earners,
The
when
feed
they
the
become.
community.
Yes, we have quite a number of small businesses run by women, run by women. Taino Cove is run by a women. I can list out over 15 different cottages and eating restaurants in Treasure Beach run by women. Sunset, Beyond Sunset, which is run by Beyond Sunset is run Miss Janet. She's a woman and a strong woman too. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she promotes
Wow.
the breast cancer run that takes place down here annually.
That's very
So there,
good.
there is so much for us to support, so much for us to highlight. But as I said, we need the right kind of leadership that is all encompassing, and that will give us the ability to thrive even more in Southwest.
Wow. Wow. I'm so happy to have gotten this opportunity to talk to you, Comrade Miranda. Don't be a stranger. Please come back. When is your constituency conference?
Mine is July 13th at Black River High School, and I'm hoping that the party leader will be there. So I'll have to send you the flyer so you can help me promote
Definitely.
it.
You know I will. You know I will.
Yes, and for the viewers, we're having a gospel concert in the early part, so we want everybody to come on out and enjoy with us. We're giving thanks and praise because we come a far way.
Definitely. I'm so happy. I want to thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. This was a wonderful experience. I know that the comrades were very entertained. You have basically touched on every single topic And you are a very, very passionate MP in waiting, and I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you, immensely so.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you. And I appreciate what you're doing, the kind of information you're bringing to the public. You know, your voice is so powerful, and I'm so proud to be a part of the People's National Party with you.
Thank you. Thank you, my sister. Take care.
Take care. One love, my comrades, and keep strong. The battle is not for the swift, but those who can endure.
Amen. Tell them again.
One love, my comrades. Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.